Welcome to the Offsite construction series on Offsite Dirt. I'm your host, Audree Grubesic. We are with Devin Perry, the National Association of Homebuilders president. Devin and I met a couple of years ago at the International Builder Show, and he represents the System Building Council. Welcome, Devin. How are you?
Doing great, Audrey. Thanks for having me. And to clarify, it's the Executive Director of Business Improvement.
I'm so sorry. I knew you were up a little bit higher than just the president, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, no, it's great. Jerry Howard's our president and CEO. He does a fantastic job, and happy to support his efforts here at NAHB.
Awesome. Well, you and I have met. We are seeing the industry expand and grow. What type of barriers are preventing home builders in trying to get into the system building method? What are you seeing?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we actually kind of explored that earlier this year with a study that we conducted along with the University of Denver. And what we found is that on-site framing labor and builders not wanting to kind of upset the apple cart locally is one of the biggest barriers to folks getting into an off-site construction method. That being said, we're starting to see some creative solutions in terms of manufacturers becoming super subs and offering framing labor solutions at the local level. So it's something that the industry is actively tackling right now.
I think it's great because when we talk about off-site, on-site, there are a lot of similarities, but then there's a lot of differences. And being that you have this blanket of being this national organization, are you seeing any trends being more in the panelized sector? Are you seeing more in the volumetric sector? Where are you seeing the greatest increase? And in the home building arena, are we seeing it more in the multifamily? Are you seeing it more in the single family?
Yeah, that's another terrific question. And per the last set of data we got from the Census Bureau, it looks like, panelized construction, which they classify as pre-cut, and modular are about the same in terms of single family starts. I can say anecdotally, we're seeing a lot of momentum behind both, which is fantastic. Every day I talk to builders that are very interested in systems built construction, and a lot of them are actually starting their own manufacturing plants and facilities, not only to satisfy their own projects, but to satisfy additional builds by general contractors and builders as well. In terms of single family and multifamily, I think given the nature of systems built construction, building in that indoor controlled factory environment, whatever you can do to make that process repeatable and easier for the people in the manufacturing plant, it makes a lot of sense. And that's why you see some real natural applications in the multifamily sector.
Agreed. And it's interesting because when I started my journey a little over 5 years ago, I started talking to traditional custom home builders and talking about this space. And in your sector, obviously you are so entrenched in it. What are you seeing as the benefits for someone that comes from the traditional going into the offsite solution, and not just in the repetitive nature? What other benefits are you seeing?
Yeah, and there's no silver bullet to the issues that are impacting the residential construction industry right now. And looking at home builders' two biggest concerns, NAHB does a number of studies, really quarterly, checking in and see what's going on with the industry and what home builders are worried about. One is labor, and having issues bringing in skilled trades on site. Not only is it builders hiring their own skilled tradesmen, but also bringing subcontractors on site and having plumbers, electricians and things being able to support your build. So offsite construction, taking a lot of that work to the factory is a clear benefit. Two is material issues, which are a huge concern with our industry right now. It's funny, labor was for a number of years the chief concern of home builders. Now that's been flipped to where you're seeing supply chain issues, and again, working with a single supplier that's taking care of many of the issues, coordinating everything from lumber to insulation through the factory just makes it a lot easier and more efficient for the home builder on site.
You know, Devin, I'm just curious, what brought you into the industry and why did you join the National Association of Home Builders?
Audrey, that's an interesting question, and I'd say even to this day, I can barely swing a hammer, so I might be the least handy man on the planet. That being said, my background is actually in professional sports. I worked in the ticket sales and service departments for a number of organizations across the country. And what I really have a passion for is people putting together programs, and that's what I do at the National Association of Home Builders. It's been a great education this past 6 years in the residential construction industry, and I know so much more now than I did in the winter of 2015. The members have been a huge resource education-wise, but that's my background, really. Programs. We're working with our members, making sure their interests are represented, and we put together information to really the rest of NAHB, kind of promoting the benefits of systems-built construction. That's what we work towards every day.
And there's so many, and we're starting to learn more and more. I think it's interesting when you were saying, and I'm seeing the same conversation from the East and West Coast, that a lot of people that are land developers or large builders, there's always a segment that they're starting to kind of tip their toe into some type of solution, whether it be ICFs, maybe it's panelization, maybe it's volumetric. And now they're building factories. Isn't it fascinating that we went from these large developments trying to do fulfillment, and now we're seeing these factory developments? Do you see this being more of an expanding conversation? Are you seeing that this is kind of one of the biggest needs that we're starting to see in the marketplace?
Absolutely, and I'll point to a local production builder here in the Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., Maryland area, Van Meter Homes. To your point, they started out as a traditional stick builder. They kind of dipped their toe in, my apologies, pre-cut framing, and from there they moved on to panelized walls. From panelized walls, they're now building their own modular units in Winchester, Virginia, and those units are supplying many of their builds across the region, and they're actually looking to take the next step and go into prefabricated cassettes and kind of bringing that technology online. Thinking about another individual, Ken Semler, he's a builder out of West Virginia that does modular coast to coast. He's now a factory operator out of South Carolina. It's going to not only support a build he's doing in the South, but additional builders as well. So you're seeing a huge need for additional capacity in the offsite manufacturing industry.
It's funny, we know Ken. We actually did an interview with him last year. He's one of my favorites. You know as well as I do. I've never seen anybody as in depth into the industry and just so knowledgeable. And I love his direction. It's not just about the single family audience, but it's also about aging in place and these other opportunities to build homes, quality homes. And I think that's the other thing. I think everybody has these preconceived notions of what really modular means, or what does that define as a product. And Devin, in the experience that you've had being at the Homebuilders Association, or the Association of Home Builders, isn't it amazing the type of builds that you're seeing? I mean, they started maybe in one asset, but now we're doing these fully custom homes. Isn't it incredible?
Yeah, it is, Audrey. And I want to touch on a word that you mentioned, quality. And we just got finished with our kind of yearly award cycle, and to see the homes come through that were submitted from modular, panelized, concrete, in our log and timber Homes Council members. A lot of people forget that's a prefabricated system as well. But yes, just the fully custom options, the opportunities in commercial, multifamily. Yes, there is this preconceived notion where modular and offsite gets lumped in together with manufactured or HUD code housing, and it's an education process telling people, hey, this isn't the case. Homes built using prefabricated components on the offsite side are built to the same codes that stick-built home is. So we were pushing that rock uphill every day in terms of.
And I have that same conversation. It's interesting. We both cross similar paths about just, international residential code and the code for the municipalities. And just so our guests and our listeners understand, they have to be regulated. They're inspected the same way other homes are. Obviously, there's a different method, but there is a course of action about how these have to be built, how they appraise for the same value when you're comparing apples to apples. Being that that's the case, Devin, and I know that you have a whole bunch of new events and stuff coming up. And I think the best thing about what your organization offers is the education process. Where can they find more information? And also, please let us know, when are your next events coming up?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, if you want information about the National Association of Homebuilders, it's NAHB.org. And if you want information specific to the building systems councils, again, it's NAHB.org/YBSC. As a federation, we're very excited to be back on site in person this February at the International Builder Show. That's February 8th through the 10th at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the International Builder Show, it's the largest light construction conference in the world. And over the 3-day trade show, we'll have over 70,000 people walk through the doors of the Orange County Convention Center. Over 1 million square feet of exhibit space, terrific education. And in terms of the building systems councils and our role there, we have a specific area called the Building Systems Councils Lounge, where, again, over February 8th, 9th, and 10th, we'll put on over 20 education sessions focused on the systems-built housing industry, whether they be modular, panelized, log and timber, concrete as well. And there's some networking opportunities there that are built in. So again, if you're coming to the International Builder Show, please visit us in the Building Systems Council's Lounge. Speaking of being excited about getting back on site, this fall of September 18th through the 20th, we're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia for the
It's coming. I know it's coming.
Yeah.
It's so many dates.
Building,
you just have too many things going on, Devin.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
That's the truth. It's the Building Systems Housing Summit.
There we go. We got it. Yeah. The summit.
Summit. NAHB's annual conference for the offsite construction industry. The event itself has gone over a couple different names, but it's been occurring annually for over 30 years now. At Summit, we have a great education track for individuals that are already involved in the systems built housing industry, and we're launching a new education track at Summit. This upcoming fall in September in 2022, that will focus on individuals that want to learn more about offsite construction. And again, we will not only cover modular, it'll be panelized, concrete, log, and timber homes. So it'll be a great one-stop shop for not only people that are involved in systems built construction already, but for those that want to learn more. And we look forward to seeing everybody in September in Atlanta.
Well, I think it's great. I think it's great that we're having these conversations now, because we know how much the industry has grown in just the short amount of time that I've been there for 5 years. I think it's fantastic that you are opening up this segment. We're here to educate people and let them know that there are teams out there trying to support and not only educate, but also be able to do deliverables. So all of those assets are phenomenal in this industry, and we can't thank the National Association of Home Builders enough for having another segment, not only to the traditional form of what they do, but also now the offsite portion of that. So Devin, thank you for being here.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate it, Audrey. And just to touch on something you said, at NAHB, our goal is to provide options to home builders. Offsite's part of that mix. So again, if you want to learn more, NAHB.org/YBSC, come view our resources. We're happy to help you out.
Well, I'm just going to ask one last question. I know that you're going to be in my neck of the woods in Atlanta, Georgia in September, and I know that you're going to be doing these special education arenas. You know, on that, Devin, are there any special guests that you're kind of excited to have speak at this event?
Yeah, no, sure are. You know, we mentioned Ken Semler earlier. He's going to be part of a panel, actually two, at IBS. One, talking about modular construction in general. Then we have another panel of folks like Ken that started as builders but have brought their own manufacturing facilities online. So that's a path that you're looking to take. This is a great way to kind of pick the brains of industry experts and get a step ahead. I do want to point out, at the International Builder Show, specifically on February 8th, we are kind of late that afternoon holding a network for people in the industry. So again, please visit us in the Building Systems Council's Lounge. Going to be terrific networking, education. Really, I can't miss it now.
And I think that's an important thing. We need to network. When I was at the International Builder Show 2 years ago, I think we were over a million square feet of different types of expo education, breakout rooms. There were different booths. I mean, they were so phenomenally designed and interactive. Are you kind of seeing that same thing that's going to be happening in February?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, not only in the convention hall itself, but I do want to point out to everybody there is a show village just right outside the Orange County Convention Center in the parking lot, where we'll have full and complete modular units on site. People can walk through and tour and see the quality of the home. So whether you're in the convention center, in the parking lot, it's just wall-to-wall information about residential construction. So it's can't miss.
I think that's great, because I really think that people that are just trying to get into the industry understand a little bit more, being able to actually physically see it, experience it, that changes the perspective. And so that was one of the things that I thought you guys did really well a couple of years ago, being able to walk into those homes and walk into expanding homes. I think Boxable was there one year. I know Urbaneer was there one year. I know Champion Homes. I mean, there was so many different builders and manufacturers there, which gives you a really good idea of being able to see it, feel it, touch it. And you know, the one of the big things for all builders and for anybody that's going to be buying a home is quality and making sure that the home lives well for them. And just one last question, Devin, and I'm sure that you get this a lot. Are you seeing the transformation from homes going from the massive homes into smaller home capacities? Where are you seeing in the home builder side what types of homes are getting actually produced and built in the offsite area?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say in general, kind of post-pandemic, you've seen square footages increase again to where they were shrinking previously. So home building kind of follows the demands of the home buying public. We found that after the pandemic, kind of more space, taking advantage of outdoor areas, having flex space has been a real recent trend. So you enjoy the outdoors, still kind of having that indoor aspect as well. But it's interesting. You've seen a real kind of shift pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. So it'll be interesting to watch those market forces move as we head into 2022.
Well, thank you, Devin Perry, the National Association of Home Builders, the Building System Council. It is bigger and better than ever. And now you have the dirt on Offsite Dirt. Thank you for being with us.